I'm already collecting pieces of the blanket on my shirt. All right, so double check. Make sure your feet are directly below your hips. Go ahead and peel your toes up off the mat and really feel your feet, all four corners really grinding into the ground. Really feel it against the mat. Pulling the arches of the feet up and away from the mat. You can relax the toes, engaging the quadriceps slightly. Tuck the tail under, firm the lower belly, pull the navel in towards the spine, and then roll the shoulders down and back. Let the crown of the head reach up towards the ceiling. Your chin will slightly tuck. And then we'll just jump right on into our sun salutation. So inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, hinge the hips, come down into your forward fold. Inhale, step your right foot back behind you, coming into a lunge. So we're gonna do this with the knee up off the mat, but you can lower your left knee if you need, or I'm sorry, your right knee if you need. So just taking a breath here. Feel the crown of the head reaching long. The back of the right knee is reaching up towards the ceiling. And then plant your hands, step your left foot back into plank. Exhale, lower down to the mat. You can bring the knees down first if you'd like. Inhale, come up into a little baby cobra, and then exhale, tuck the toes and push back into a down dog. Take a breath here. On your inhale, step your left foot forward in between your hands. I just had you guys on the left side. Step your right foot forward in between your hands. There we go, that's better. All right, so again, you can let your left knee come down to the ground if you'd like. Otherwise, you can keep the back of the knee extended. Back of the left knee reaching up towards the ceiling. Crown of the head reaching out in front of you, shoulders sliding down the back. And then at the end of your next exhale, step that left foot back up to meet the right and come into your forward fold. So just staying here, taking a couple breaths. Again, you can have however much of a bend in your knee as you'd like. And as you inhale, bend the knees, come into chair pose. Exhale, hold it here. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. And exhale, close the pose. So we'll run through that one more time. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, hinge at the hips, flat back, come down into your forward fold. Take a breath here. On your next inhale, step that right foot back behind you, coming back into that lunge. You can always let that right knee come down to the mat if you'd like. Taking a breath, extending through the crown, extending off the waist, lengthening the spine. Trying to stay light on your fingertips. On your next inhale, planting your hands, shooting that left foot back into a plank. Exhale, you can bring the knees down first if you'd like. Lower your chest to the ground. Inhale, scoop up into a cobra. Exhale, tuck the toes, push up into a down dog. So just take a couple breaths, smoothing out the transition. Check in with your down dog. Make sure you still got the right positioning on your hands. Make sure your feet are about hip distance apart. On your next inhale, step your right foot forward in between your hands. You can lower the left knee if you'd like. Otherwise, push the back side of the left knee up towards the ceiling. Think about the spine growing long. Think about the chest pulling away from the hips, growing off the waist. One more breath. And then on your exhale, walk that left foot forward to meet the right, come into your forward fold. So again, just catching your breath here, breathing through the transition. And then on your inhale, sweep your arms up, bend your knees, come into your chair pose. Exhale, hold the chair, and then inhale, push all the way up to standing, and exhale, close the pose. So go ahead and turn sideways on your mat. I'm going to stay facing you. And if you want, you can go ahead and grab a block and just have it somewhere nearby. You won't be using it in this first posture, but you might want to have it just somewhere close by. All right, so if you're standing long ways on your mat, your feet should be anywhere between 3 to 3.5 feet apart from each other. So toes are pointing forward, maybe even kicking the heels out just a little bit so that the toes are pointing in towards the center just slightly. We're just going to stretch out the side bodies. So inhale, reach the arms up to shoulder height. Exhale, drop the left hand and reach the right arm up and over. Inhale, center. Exhale, drop the right hand, reach the left arm up and over. Inhale, center. Exhale, first side. Inhale, center. Exhale, second side. One more time all the way through. Inhale, center. Exhale, drop the left hand, reach the right arm over. Inhale, center. Exhale, drop the right hand, reach the left arm over. Inhale, come back to center. And then exhale, you can drop the hands and close the pose. So we're going to open up to the side. We're going to start on the right side. So go ahead and take your right foot and point it towards the front or the back of your mat, whichever it is for you. I'm not sure what you consider it. But go ahead and point your right toes out towards the edge of your mat. Then you're going to kick your left heel back at a 45-degree angle. And just double check, make sure that your right heel is in line with the arch of the left foot. So that way you know you're all in the right line. Your hips are going to tilt towards your right foot a little bit. Nothing crazy, nothing all the way like this, but you will feel a little bit of a tilt, and that's totally normal. If you're using a block, you can have it somewheres about in front of the right foot. All right. So we're going to inhale, arms up. And as you exhale, you're going to bend the right knee, reach the right arm out, and then bring it down to the block, left fingertips up towards the ceiling. Inhale, come all the way back out of it. Exhale, bend the right knee, reach the right arm out, come down to the block, left fingertips up. Inhale, come all the way back out, straightening the front leg. Exhale, reach, bend the right knee. Inhale, come back out. And then last time, exhale, bend the right knee, reach the right arm forward, come down to that block, reach the left fingertips up. And just check in. Sometimes when you bend that right knee, you may find that you've actually got more room that you can space out. So maybe you'll wiggle the right toes forward and get a wider distance between the feet. All right. So now we're going to start working with that top arm. So as you inhale, reach that left arm, bicep by the ear, up over the head. Exhale, reach it all the way back by the hip, palm facing up. Inhale, reach up over. Feel that stretch in the left side body, and exhale, bring it back to the hip. Inhale, reach it all the way over. Exhale, sweep it back and turn that chest to look up towards the ceiling. One more time, inhale over. Exhale, pull it back, really open that chest up towards the ceiling. And then we're going to inhale the arm over and stay. So placing the palm on the block, maybe the fingertips, wherever you're at. And just reaching through from left pinky tip all the way down through the left heel. Extending through the body. Feeling the left side body really opening up. Each time you inhale, think about growing long from fingertip to heel. Each time you exhale, think about twisting that chest open towards the ceiling a little bit more. Two more breaths. And then as you inhale, come all the way back out of it. Exhale, close the pose. Go ahead and point your toes forward into that original straddle position. And just close your eyes for a second. Just take a mental comparison of how the left side of the body feels compared to the right side of the body. And then we'll do that on the other side. So go ahead and take your left toes and point them to the other side of your mat. Kick your right heel out at a 45-degree angle. Once again, check in. Make sure that that left heel is in line with the arch of the left foot. Again, those hips are going to tilt ever so slightly towards the left side of the body. Then you can place your block in front of the left foot, wherever you think it's going to end up landing. So inhale, arms come up. Exhale, bend that left knee, reach that left hand off the waist and bring it down to the block, right fingertips up towards the ceiling. Inhale, come back out of it, straighten that front leg. Exhale, bend the front leg, reach off the waist, come down to the block. Inhale, all the way back out of it, straightening the front leg. Exhale again, reach down into the posture. Inhale, come all the way out. Last one, exhale, reach forward. Oh, sorry, bend that front knee. Almost forgot. And then reach those right fingertips up towards the ceiling. So again, just take a second and feel it out. I always find that the distance that my feet need to be for triangle is a little bit narrower than what I can do for this posture. So if you want to find what kind of space you can find, go ahead and do that. And then we'll get ready to start opening up the right side body. So inhale, reach the hand up over bicep by the ear. Exhale, palm facing the ceiling and open back up to the hip. Inhale, reach the arm over. Exhale, sweep that arm back, turning the chest to face the ceiling. Inhale, reach the arm over. Exhale again, opening up. And last one, inhale, reach over, and then we'll stay. So really think about right pinky tip all the way down through the right heel. Stretching through the left side body, or I'm sorry, the right side body. Really opening up the right side body. Each time you exhale, think about twisting that chest open towards the ceiling. And if looking up at the ceiling is not working for you, you can always look down at your block. Say hi to your big toe. Just stretching through. Stay strong. Feel the opening up. Take a couple more breaths here. And then on your next inhale, come all the way out of it, straightening the front leg. Exhale, close the pose. Point the left toes back towards the front. And once again, just stay here for a second. So close your eyes. Feel how both sides of the body feel now. And just to release from that, we're just going to fold over in between the legs. If you want to move the block in front of your toes, just slightly in the center of your feet. Inhale the arms all the way up. And exhale, fold over. And just let the torso collapse in between the legs. So if you've got the block there and you want to place your hands on the block, you may even find in this position that maybe you can widen the feet even more. Just find what feels good for you in this position this evening. So just relaxing your neck, letting your head grow heavy. And then to come out of it, just first you're going to put a little bit of a bend in your knees. Bring your hands onto your hips. As you start to inhale, pull your chest away from the mat. Pull all the way up until you're standing. Heel toe the feet back together. And if you are turned sideways on your mat, go ahead and point your toes back towards the front of your mat. And bring yourself back up to the front. So we're going to work our way back onto our sit bones. So let's start here in our mountain pose. So lengthen out through the crown of the head once again. Relax the shoulders down the back. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up. Exhale, hinge at the hips, come down into your forward fold. Taking a breath here. Taking one more inhale, and then as you go to exhale, plant the hands and step your feet back into down dog. So check in with your down dog once again. Make sure that you're rolling the weight to the inside edge of the palm. Pushing back through the heels. Roll the sit bones up towards the ceiling. And then inhaling, drop the knees down to the mat in all fours. And then find yourself in a comfortable seated posture. So if you do that by crossing your legs and sitting back, maybe swinging your legs out to the side and just coming onto your sit bones. All right, so we're gonna go in and out of a version of Janu Shirsasana. So if you would like to do this sitting up on a blanket, you can go ahead and just bring something to just kind of help elevate your hips a little bit. So we're going to do a slightly different version of this. So traditionally in Janu Shirsasana, we've got one leg extended out in front of us. This time we're actually going to extend the leg out to the side, and then we're going to tuck the left foot, the left sole of the foot onto the inside of the right thigh. So even yourself across your sit bones if you got to scooch around to get yourself in that order. Now, depending on where you're at home and how you're positioned at home, if your right foot is hanging off of the mat and you're on a hardwood floor or something along those lines that might be uncomfortable, you can always grab another blanket, or if you're not sitting on one, you can use that blanket and just stick it underneath the heel of the foot if that's uncomfortable for you. All right. So first we're going to move in and out of this posture so that we get our spine shifted in the right direction. So as you inhale, reach your arms up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, turn and look at your foot and then come down. Find where you can clasp, and then inhale, come all the way out of it, and then turn to face the front. Exhale, turn to face the foot again, come down. Inhale, come all the way back out of it and unwind. Exhale, twist to look at the foot, come down. Inhale, come back up, unwind. This time we're going to go down and stay. So exhale, turn and look at the toes and then come down. Find your anchor point. So if that's the foot, maybe underneath the ankle, maybe underneath the calf, maybe underneath the knee. Maybe it just means your hands are on either side of your leg. Wherever your anchor point is, You want to try and keep the spine nice and straight. So if reaching for your foot starts to cause you to round in your back, then maybe your anchor point is back here. Now in this position, your body's constantly trying to find its way back out. So you may feel like your left shoulder is constantly pulling in this direction. Make sure you're squaring the chest towards the knee, keeping that twist. Take a few breaths here. So just giving the body an opportunity to get used to this position, the direction that it's facing. Keeping the crown reaching, keeping the back nice and flat. Make sure to check in with that left shoulder. If it's starting to pull away from you, steady it back on course. And now we're going to go into the next variation of this. So you're going to take the right hand or the right forearm and tuck it inside the right leg, on the inside of the right leg. You may want to take your thumb and just kind of sneak it underneath wherever on the leg that it reaches. So the elbow is going to be somewhere near about where the knee joint is on the inside of the leg. And then you can, like I said, just use a thumb to grab and hook. It just makes it easier for me to keep my arm from bouncing up. All right, so once you've got your arm leveraged on the inside of your thigh, you're just going to kind of push your forearm into the thigh. And then as you inhale, sweep the left hand up and over as if you're trying to grab your toes. Now, as you can see, I am nowhere close to grabbing my toes. That's not the point. The point is to just reach in that direction. Take a breath here. And then each time you exhale, think about trying to look past the arm towards the ceiling. So pulling the elbow back. An option for you is to maybe take the left hand and grab underneath the head. And then almost like you're drawing a line on the ceiling with your elbow. Inhale, and then exhale, try and open that elbow up to point up at the ceiling. So you should really feel it in that left side of the body, really opening up the whole side of the body, down the rib cage, down in between your ribs and your waist. Stay with it, making any adjustments that you need. Maybe even think of your inhale coming down into the side body and filling up, opening up the left side body. On your next inhale, you can extend that left arm back out and turn to twist over the leg once again. So bringing each hand on either side of the leg. So just like we were in our starting position. If that means you want to grab your anchor point, you can do that. Take a breath with the transition. And then on your next inhale, come all the way back out of the posture, twist to face the center again, and exhale, close the pose. So just like we did in our standing posture, just take a second. You can actually extend both legs out in front of you if you'd like. Just take a second, close your eyes. Feel that left side of the body versus the right side of the body. If you didn't feel an obvious difference when we were in our standing position, I would think you're probably feeling it now. So we'll go ahead and do that on the other side. So taking your left leg out at a 45-degree angle and tucking the sole of your right foot on the inside of the left thigh. And just as we did on the other side, depending on where you're at home, depending on what type of flooring you have, whatever your situation is, if that back of the heel is uncomfortable or pressing into some hardwood floor, go ahead and slide a blanket underneath it, or a second yoga mat or whatever you've got lying around, just to make it a little bit more comfortable, because we are here for long enough. All right, so let's even this out on the other side. Inhale, reach the arms up, and then exhale, turn the chest to face the foot and then come down, kind of testing your anchor point. Inhale, come all the way up and unwind. Exhale, turn and face the foot and come down. Inhale, all the way back out, twisting to the center. Exhale, twist towards the foot, come down. Last one, inhale all the way out of it, back to center. And then exhale, twist the chest to face the toes and come down and find your anchor point. So same thing as on the other side. If you're trying to reach for your toes and you find that it's causing a lot of rounding in your back, that's not your anchor point today. So you can come back further up the leg. So again, another option is to even just have your hands on the floor next to your leg. So really checking in with the posturing. Again, your right shoulder is probably going to keep trying to creep open. Just make sure that your chest is facing down towards the leg, chest is facing the knee. Think about growing long on the inhale, so crown of the head still reaching out, chest facing down towards the knee. Really giving the body an opportunity to adjust to this angled posture. Smoothing out the breath. All right, now we're going to go to the next stage of this posture. So this time we're taking the left forearm and tucking it on the inside of the left thigh. So find wherever that works for you. Your elbow will be somewhere about where your knee is, but everybody's a little bit different. And then again, I just like to, as a nice anchor and a nice sense of stability, I like to take my thumb and kind of stick it underneath my calf. All right, on your inhale, take your right hand and reach all the way up and over, reaching over towards your toes. Again, I'm nowhere near them. It's just the direction that I'm heading. So take a second for the body to get used to that stretch on the right side. And then as you exhale, start to open the chest up towards the ceiling. So same as on the other side, if it's better for you or if you prefer to do so, go ahead and take your left hand and just kind of cradle the back of the head. So the left elbow is reaching up, the right elbow is reaching up towards the ceiling. And just as if you're trying to draw a dot on the ceiling, just opening up the elbow, reaching it up towards the ceiling. Maybe even using that left arm to push against the left leg and help give you more leverage. So feeling the whole right side body opening and expanding. Maybe even feeling the breath filling up that space between the rib cage and the hip. Just take a couple more breaths here. And then releasing your head if you're cradling it. On your inhale, go ahead and reach the right fingertips back up towards the ceiling and bring that hand back around so that the chest is facing the knee once again. So we're in our starting position. So just taking a couple breaths coming out of that transition. And then on your next inhale, come all the way back up, twist towards the center. Exhale, close the pose. Once again, reach both feet out in front of you. Close your eyes and just feel both sides of the body. Feel just the sensations that may be running through them. Feel how you feel about the work that you just did. Maybe see if that's done anything to your breath, done anything to your thoughts, to your mind. And then just as a nice counter to kind of bring a little bit of centeredness back to the low back and just the spine in general. Go ahead with both feet out in front of you. Make sure you're even across your sit bones. And we're just going to do a simple forward fold to even things out. So inhale, reach the arms up towards the ceiling, and exhale, fold over, finding your anchor point wherever that is for you. And just relax. You can even let the back round slightly in this forward fold. So just taking a couple breaths. And then we're just going to walk ourselves back up into a seated position. So on your inhale, if you want to place your hands on either side of your legs and just walk your hands back towards your hips until you're in a seated posture. So we're going to work our way down on the mat. I'm going to turn sideways. You may want to move your blanket out from underneath you if you're using one. So I'm going to turn sideways so that you can see me. All right. So your sit bones should be about the middle of your mat. Knees are bent, hands are on each knee. Let's just take an inhale, reaching the chest up. And then as you exhale, slowly roll yourself down onto your back. All right. So laying down on your back, knees are still bent. We're going to come in and out of a bridge. So taking your hands, placing them palm down by your hips. Make sure that your feet walk them in a little bit closer towards your sit bones and making sure that your knees and your feet are about hip distance apart. All right. So on our inhale, we're going to push into the heels and push the hips up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, lower the hips back down. Inhale, push into the heels, push the hips up.